Leaving the Bob Hope Airport in Burbank, California, the passengers and crew of Flight 292 had no suspicions the flight would be anything out of the ordinary.
I was in Los Angeles at the time for business.
Zach Mistoon was heading home, and he boarded the plane that day with 139 other unsuspecting passengers.
I've flown a lot. It was always just get on the airline, you never expect anything to happen.
But this time, things would be different. 15 minutes into the flight, the pilot alerted passengers that the front landing gear had failed to retract and that the plane was flying in circles, trying to determine what to do next.
When something happens in an airplane, you maintain aircraft control, you analyze the situation, and you take appropriate action.
The plane was going to make a low flyby at the Long Beach airport so traffic control could assess the situation. Passengers started to stir as the reality of the situation took hold.
I wasn't panicked, but I was a little bit uneasy. If you need somebody with binoculars to figure out what the landing gear looks like, then we're really in trouble.
ATC at Long Beach confirmed that the front landing gear had failed to retract and the wheel was locked in a 90-degree position.
Planes crash for only 4 reasons essentially: human error, weather, terrorism, or equipment failure.
Rather than turning around, the pilot decided to land at Los Angeles International Airport for its longer and wider runways. To make matters worse, the media had become aware of the situation and were on the scene in full force. Because the plane is equipped with satellite television, passengers began watching live coverage of their ordeal. The experts and commentators were predicting the outcome. Once the plane lands, the front landing gear will succumb to the pressure of the plane and collapse, crashing into the tarmac and exploding.
I did hear some people weeping.
With the eyes of the nation glued to their TVs, flight attendants started asking passengers to place their IDs in their pockets. This way it's easier to identify the bodies if disaster strikes.
The job of the pilot is keeping that pressure and friction and everything else off the nose until it's absolutely necessary to put it down.
After 3 hours in the air burning off fuel, the time to land had come.
The flight attendants were really clear on their instructions. There was an electronic voice saying, "Brace, brace," and I just remember waiting for something to happen.
After all the predictions, there was smoke, there was fire, but the plane landed safely without incident.
It was actually smoother than any plane landing that I'd ever been on. The front wheels went down, and there was a little bit of a smell of smoke, and everyone was like, "That was it?" And then people just started cheering and crying. It was a really beautiful moment. Everyone was at work. The pilot was at work. The flight attendants were at work. There was this thing that happened at the job that was completely out of the ordinary, but they were doing their job.
As a passenger in the back, you want a pilot up there for a day like this. When it's sunny out and everything's going fine, it's great. But when there's something going wrong or possibly could go wrong, you want someone up there who knows what they're doing.